So, Earl, tell me a little bit about what you do. I was reading your bio. It sounds like you have an absolutely fascinating life, and I want to hear all about it from your perspective.
Well, I work with people with disabilities and injuries, and I always have. That's been my only real career, and so I've been working with them like 27 years. And if they are have something severe, then I have to explain to them and the court why they can't go back to their prior work, and then in certain cases like medical malpractice and personal injury, where I'm testifying in front of a jury. That's when I have to explain if they've had any permanent wage loss throughout the rest of their life. So, in other words, if a roofer falls off a roof, lands on his heels, breaks both of them, he's probably not going to be able to go up ladders very fluidly again. So, they're making $24 an hour, but they have a sixth grade education and they're from Uruguay, and they speak very little English. I mean, that's a huge wage loss for them, even
Oh,
if
absolutely.
they're documented. I mean, that was how they earned a living, their body, and now they can't do it anymore. So I have to explain that to a jury.
That's incredible. Good for you with the work that you do. That's pretty amazing. And what made you decide to want to go into that field?
So my whole game plan growing up was to be a professional pitcher or play in the NFL. Okay, I had a killer arm, stronger than anyone I knew, but then I tore it in college, and
Ooh.
I tore it again and tore it again. I mean, it was so bad. I'd go to reach up for something in a cabinet, my shoulder would pop out of socket. I'd have to pop it back in. So I had 3 surgeries on it. And then I lost probably about 10, 12 miles an hour on my fastball and was in the low 80s. And then I knew I wasn't probably going to play professional sports anymore. I tried a little bit with the Baltimore Orioles and stuff and outfielder, but my arm was always so sore and I just couldn't do it. So I went back, got my master's degree, and you can't do much with an undergrad in psychology, I learned, right? So you have to get an advanced degree. And this seemed like it was an interesting field, especially since, I had a disability, which is my dominant arm. And it's really, served me well throughout my life when I'm talking to people because it gives me a little street cred that, hey, look, yeah, I tore my shoulder 3 times too. And there's some things I can't do and some things I can, and good versus bad days. So it really helps them open up, compared to someone who has nothing wrong with them, if that makes sense.
Incredible. And tell me, what do you think is the biggest challenge about your career?
I think I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty comfortable in it. I've always have been. Testifying for me is almost like having a lot of knowledge, but being able to convey it. And because I was, I think, born to be a counselor, I can put it in terms where people can understand it. So I don't come across as arrogant or pompous or the smartest guy in the room. I read the room and say, okay, let me give you an example. If you were picking this up, you would drop it, instead of going, the musculature in your left shoulder, I just bring it down to street level and help people understand it. So probably the hardest thing for me, even to this day, is walking into a quiet courtroom with a full jury and having to walk across that room into a seat, seeing 2 tables full of attorneys and the judge and people in the gallery. And I just take a deep breath and I always remember what one of my colleagues said is, Earl, remember, you know more about this stuff than anyone else in that room. And once I think like that, I'm like, and I answer the first question, I'm get in a rhythm and just go with the flow and make eye contact with all the jury members and do a little nodding and they start to nod. It just comes naturally to me.
Very good. I'm so proud of you. And it seems like you just have an amazing life. I loved reading your bio. I'm just like, you're just like such one of the coolest guys. I've only talked to you for like, what, 5 minutes now? And like, you're already one of the coolest people I know.
Oh, thank you so much. I mean, I've
Go
been
ahead.
very blessed. I mean, I've had the opportunity to do a lot of different things. And, I love boating. I'm taking acting classes and comedy classes now, and I find that fun, regardless of what comes out of it. I mean, great people. Um, the success of the show, I get to talk to people like you and other fantastic people, and I mean, it's really neat. I mean, I'm very blessed.
Tell me about being on the show. I mean, obsessed with it. It was just like every week I'm like, what's gonna happen next? What's gonna happen next? Who's gonna do what?
Yeah, and I was the cliffhanger a few times, wasn't
Yes,
I?
you were.
So yeah, that was really tough watching it because all my family and friends were like, "What happened? Did you get kicked off?" And I'm like, "I can't tell you that." And with that scarlet letter, with Shannon, even my sister, she's like, "Is she pregnant?" I'm like, "No, she's not pregnant. It's not a paternity test or anything like that." And everyone had their theories, and I had to keep skirting all the theories, so it was interesting. It was tough too, having to keep my mouth shut for a week and sometimes 2 weeks because the cliffhanger would go another episode.
Right?
So yeah, that was really a test, to keeping my mouth shut, because I like to talk a little, so yeah.
Yeah, it's you. That's why I do it for a living. So why did you decide to do this show? And did it meet up to your expectations?
Oh, I think it went far beyond my expectations. I mean, all the women on the show were fantastic. The crew, Bravo, they were all fantastic. Um, I didn't see it coming, but once I applied with some coaxing from a friend, because I didn't know about it at all, and once I applied and I made it through the process and found out I was going, I was pretty scared about it, and I didn't even want to do it then, but my friends talked me into it, and it was one of the best decisions. I'll tell you. I mean, getting off that plane in Cabo, it was just like flying by the seat of your pants. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know why you're there. You know, what's going to happen in the next moment. So, but took a deep breath each time I got a little nervous and just tried to be myself, as authentic as I could be.
Now, do you keep in contact with any of your fellow people on the show, or?
Yeah, I mean, I love the guys on the show. We all make an effort wherever we're at to say, "Hey, look, I'm here," and let's get together for a cocktail or dinner or something like that. I have, several of the guys, they're out and about a lot more than I am because I work so much, but they'll be out having a great time somewhere and then they'll run into some ladies and they'll give me a call because they want to introduce them on the phone, and then the women are like, "What, Earl the Pearl?" Kind of thing. And I mean, it's pretty amazing. They get so excited and they almost can't talk sometimes, and I find that it's just me. And they're calling me. I'm sitting on the couch, watching a television program because I got to get up in the morning. And uh, but I find that really awesome that people really love the show. They really did.
Now, would you ever go back on reality TV, or?
I if the situation is right, I would. I don't know if I'd ever do a similar dating show again, but never say never, right? It was a bunch of the guys that I was with, and I'd get to see them again. Yeah, maybe. Um, I think there could be some scenarios where, yeah, I would really enjoy it. Um, but if I never did another one, I'd be okay with that too. So
Yes, I can see you and one of the guys doing Amazing Race, though. I think that would be awesome if you and the guys who all got together did Amazing Race.
well, that's funny you said that. I've heard that from several people. Um, and then I've heard people that said, "Oh, you should be the next Golden Bachelor, or you should be on Dance with the Stars, or you should this or that Survivor." There's a lot of options out there, and they all sound exciting. But if they don't happen, that's okay too. I'm going to have a great life. But when you can do something new, you meet so many new people and you gain so many new memories that you could share with other people, which this talking to you is one of the reasons. I mean, it's just so much fun because you weren't there, and maybe I can convey how fun it was for us, and I hope I do that.
You do, absolutely. I can tell how much you enjoyed the whole thing, and you just like the way you smile. It's absolutely contagious, and I absolutely love it. So, what's next for you? I know you said you're doing acting, comedy, and you work. So, what's next for you?
So I have 4 more weeks with the stand up and the improv classes I'm taking, and then we have to put on a show for our family and friends. So that's going to be wild. I mean, I didn't know these that was going to happen with either of these classes. And just last week, after my class on Saturday for improv, I went because we get to go to the improv shows for free since we're students. And I went to the first improv there and I got to see the stage, and the comedians were hilarious and the crowd was awesome. And I'm like, wow, this is totally intimidating. But, I'm going to get mentally prepared, and maybe have a nice glass of wine beforehand and go out there and have some fun.
Nice. And since you do love acting, what would be your dream show to go on, or who would be your dream actors to work with?
I love comedy, but I also have a vast knowledge of medical terminology. So I'm really digging that show, The Pit. And I
Yes.
see being there. I mean, I just love that show. I could see him being in that show or something similar, but then, I could see something funny too. Abbott Elementary, Parks and Recreation when they were on, um, the Office. I mean, that's kind of my sense of humor, like when I was on the show, and I think it was Ashley asked me and Jerry or Nick if we'd ever been married, and I said not to each other, and I walked away, and then I could hear in the background, this chuckle and then laughter because it finally clicked what I was saying, right? And that's just kind of how my sense of humor is sometimes. So
I like it. You know where I could actually see you being on? Do you know the show Shifting Gears with Tim Allen and Kat Dennings?
I just heard about that show. Yeah, I haven't watched it yet. Did you like it a lot?
I love that show. It's funny. Well, Tim Allen, of course, is a legend. Kat Dennings is hilarious. I could see you going on, maybe playing like Tim's brother or something, or the dad to the one that's played by Sean William
Yeah.
Scott. I could definitely see you doing something like that.
Yeah, I would love something like that. I mean, anytime you can be around funny people and make people laugh. I mean, one of the most fun things in my improv class is when I make the person I'm doing the skit with break up laughing. And then everyone else is laughing, but to make the other person laugh, I love doing that. And it's addictive, So once you do it a few times, you're like, every time you get in a skit, you want to make the other person just start laughing and throwing their head back kind of laughter. So yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
I love it. I love it. So, when I like asking people about interviews, tell me a fun fact about yourself that we may not have learned while seeing you on TV.
Oh, wow. Fun fact. Well, I love animals.
I saw one in the background.
Yeah, they were kind of fighting, playing with each other. I had 2 dogs, and then I had 4 brothers and sisters, cats that were born under my deck. And our plan, me and my late wife, was to bring them in, get them the treatment they needed, and then when they got older, send them back outside. But then when that time came, my wife is like, no, I don't want to do that. And I said, well, why not? She goes, because I couldn't stand coming home and seeing one of them hurt or dead in the street. And I said, I get it. And so, yeah, I kept the litter together and I have all of them still. And they're a little
I
fit,
love it.
but, just keeping the brothers and sisters together, I thought was pretty cool.
That is cool. So, what are your animals' names?
So she named the red one Hobbs for Calvin and Hobbes. I named one Rudy for the fighting Irish football player, Rudy,
So, the
right?
movie, yes.
And then there was only one girl, so we had to call her Foxy. And then the other one is like a light tangerine color, so I called that one Tango.
That is so cute. What about the pups? What kind of pups and what are their names?
So I got 2 rescues. Sheba's the oldest. She's like 6 years old, and she's a Saluki mix that was a rescue from Qatar when they were kind of shooting street dogs before the World Cup. And this awesome guy gathered a bunch of the street dogs because when they get hurt or they get too old, they just throw them in the street. They're done racing and making money off them. It's really sad. But this guy got them all together and brought them to Atlanta. And there's a great place here that took them in called Fur Kids. And
Okay.
So when I was there, and that's where I met Sheba. She's awesome, fastest dog in the world. And then this little one was found. That's Bella. She was found in a field in Texas, and she's a
Okay.
border collie and an Anatolian Shepherd mix. And then I learned of this other great organization where they'll put together a bunch of people who'll bring the dog to you, and it'll be like a relay. They'll go an hour, they'll hand off the dog to another person that goes an hour, and then another person goes an hour till they're at your door. And I'm like, man, that is so awesome, you know. So she's awesome. She's great at catching frisbees and catching balls. So, and she has like the Energizer Bunny metabolism, so she'll just go all day.
I love it. I'm an animal person too. All mine are rescues as well, and they all have pop culture names.
So what do you have?
I have four cats and three dogs. The dogs are Sophie for Golden Girls, my sister's favorite author, Linus from the Charlie Brown cartoons, Opal is from All My Children. Then the cats are Buffy from Family Affair. Do you remember that show?
Oh yeah, Family Affair. Wow, Buffy, the little girl, right?
Yep, the little girl played by Anissa Nia Jones. And then there's McNabb from Psych, Dobson from Psych, but we call him Dobby for Harry Potter. So that's like a double pop culture. And then Benson from that old show in the 70s,
With the what was
Butler.
Butler? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the one that's a spinoff to Soap. So
Right. Yeah, he was on Soap, and then he got his own show, right?
yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I know a little bit. Yeah, that's
Yep.
so you're
We had,
one of the few people I've ever met that has more animals than I do.
yep.
So nice job.
Thank you. Yes, it's just like, and Linus was a foster fowl. It was like we bought him home. It was like, oh, we're gonna foster him. We could give him in. I was like, and about it for an hour. I'm like, yep, nope, sorry.
Welcome to the family, right?
Yeah.
That's all.
I even posted on Instagram when I got him when we decided to keep him. I'm like, yeah, we tried to do a foster. Well, everybody meet Linus.
That's awesome. By the way, I love your glasses. Those are fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah, I got them online. I got them on that website, Zenny.
Mm,
And because they were inexpensive, it was like the transition, the prescription, and the frames are only $95. And then my insurance doesn't cover glasses anymore, and they wanted $500 for an ugly pair. I'm like, no.
no, no. I mean, that just lights up your face. Let me tell you, that's fantastic.
Thank you. So since we're at TV side, what are you watching these days?
Uh, so I can't wait for the pit to come on all the time, right? And then there's this show that's kind of funny called The Peacemaker. Uh,
Okay.
and that's kind of like a DC comic kind of thing. And with kind of superheroes and with John Cena, is it? You know, the wrestling guy, right?
John Cena, yes, 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 yes.
And yeah, I mean, and then movies, you know. So right now, I think those are the only two I'm really watching because they're current. Because I'm a binge watcher. When it comes on, you know, I'll stay home on a Saturday night and just watch, you know, two seasons of something, and then go to bed real late, get up around noon, and then try to get my sleep back the next night. You know, so yeah,
Same. So you get it. Yes, exactly. I do the same thing.
yeah, yeah. I started watching the Harry Potter movies again the other night, and it's
Okay.
seeing how little they were, right? Because we remember them, you know, at the last one where they were kind of young adults almost, or at least, you know, late adolescents. And they were so young and such great little actors at that time with their expressions and stuff. So I really found that pretty charming.
Yeah, it's good. My mom rewatches them every year. She loves Harry Potter.
You're kidding, really? That's awesome.
Now, what house are you in? The most important question.
I'm in my Lawrenceville, Georgia house right
No,
now.
no, I mean, which Harry Potter house?
Oh, well, it's the Gryffindor. I think it is, right? Is that what it was? Gryffindor?
Gryffindor, where they live, yeah.
Yeah, so it was the first movie. So whatever that was, I'm sorry, I'm not great on that terminology, but I really love the movies. Yeah.
Yeah, they're good movies. And I'm actually a Hufflepuff, and my sister's baby was born. They had this thing where when the baby turned 9 months and 3/4, they have to take all these little onesies and crawl to each one, and that's how they decide what house they're in. So, of course, my niece is a Slytherin.
Oh wow. Oh, of course, I like the house that Harry Potter and the main three characters are in. So which one's that?
That is Gryffindor.
That's what I thought. Gryffindor. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So I was close. Yeah.
I like it. I like it. And where can we follow you on social media so we can continue to follow this amazing career of yours?
Well, thank you for saying that. It's Earl the Pearl 35 on Instagram and on TikTok, and then it's just Earl Thompson with Earl the Pearl in quotation marks after it on Facebook.
Nice. So where did the nickname Earl to Pearl come from?
Well, I played a lot of sports and I was always really gifted with hand eye coordination and speed. And so, all the sports I tried, I picked up really quick. And then the older kids in the neighborhood always picked me, even though I was like 10 years their junior, you know? And, uh, and then when you have the name like Earl, uh, Earl the Pearl is so connected with sports because there was a basketball player called Earl the Pearl Monroe. And as you got older, anyone named Earl kind of, you know, you get called Earl the Pearl every once in a while, and then it would catch on and got into high school Earl the Pearl, then college Earl the Pearl, and all variations of that name once you're in a frat house, which I was for 4 years. So the Pearl, ETP, I mean, all sorts of them. So it was fun.
That is cute. I like it. I like it. So that is perfect. Well, Earl, it was a pleasure to speak to you. Thank you so much for taking the time today. You're amazing, and I can't wait to do this again soon. Maybe one day you can come on and do one of your improv acts. You have a standing invitation to do that, whatever you'd like.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure meeting you. You have a great week.
Thanks. You too. Bye.
I